Hello, beautiful Pisces gang, Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my tarot channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards. Let's collect with those Pisces energies. That one's sticking out. Messages coming in with that Page of Swords. Guys, as always, these are going to be general messages. Not everything I say will resonate with every single one of you out there, so please know that in advance. Always encourage you to come into these readings with an open heart and an open mind. If something resonates with you, take it and run with it. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. If something doesn't resonate with you, if it feels strange or foreign, please release those messages. Assume they are going out to someone else who needs to hear them, okay? Other than that, let's have some fun. Let's read your tarot cards. We're going to hop in. You have a whole bunch sticking out here. One more. All right. Bottom of the deck is Judgment. All right, so this is about finding closure, tying up loose ends. Sometimes it's returning back to the past to do that thing you love to do, but maybe it got put on hiatus. Sometimes it's connecting with a past friend, a past coworker, a past lover. Let's see what's coming in for you. All right, let's see. Page of Swords always indicates news, communication, someone extending their voice, their words, their gestures out to you in some capacity. Here's the thing, though. The way this is being depicted, I actually feel like it's more the idea of the thought of returning back to something. So I think this is you. Okay, Pisces, so here's what I'm getting. I could have gone in a couple different ways, so I kind of want to take the main thing that comes through. I apologize for the delay. I don't usually keep you guys waiting in suspense like that. I think this is about you kind of knee-deep in work and enjoying the process, but you've been building up towards something, and that something more or less involves reaching out to someone, very likely from your past. Now, for a lot of you, this could absolutely be career related, especially if you've been working on your resume and your body of work and perfecting your skill, your craft, updating your website, getting your lists of references to, anything work related. It could be that you're on the cusp of reaching out to an old boss or a coworker or someone who maybe you're networking with to get a job. Others of you, it could just, of course, be that you're working on building your best life and putting your best foot forward, whether you're single or with someone or whatever the case is. And it's almost like you're working towards the goal of sending out a resume or sending out a text or sending out a confession or profession of your love. But there's something telling you that it's not the right time to move forward. And for most of you, to be honest, it's that fear of rejection. Well, if I put myself out there, what's going to happen? Well, Pisces, immediately, you know what I'm going to tell you. Well, what happens if you don't put yourself out there? You're never going to know, right? So, I hate to make it so simple and well, of course. But really, I think that's the wonderful thing about tarot is you get this unbiased opinion. And, I'm unabashedly Team Pisces. I'm Team all zodiac signs. But, I guess that's why I'm looking to see the deeper thing behind this, but ultimately what I'm getting is, well, I've been building towards this and it's starting to feel like time to reach out, but then it gets stuck in the brain. It's like before you vocalize it or communicate it, it's almost like the need to be perfect, the idea of perfection. Well, if I go back to the drawing board and fix it, then I can launch it in the next week or in the next month. Only I think you keep doing that. Do you see how there's a clock on that? I'm literally getting almost like heart. This is a metaphor, not literal. I don't do medical readings, but almost like heart palpitations. Like your palms start to sweat when you've almost reached that timeline where you're supposed to, click send or click launch or, send it out in the mail, click send on the email, whatever it is. You're building towards something great, but it's almost like you've become so comfortable in the building of it that now that you have to actually launch it or release it to the world or send it to that person, you're really starting to second guess yourself. And it stems probably from insecurity, but also in some sense a desire to please someone else. But ultimately, I think you need to stand by your work. I can tell with Eight of Pentacles, you've really put your blood, sweat, and tears into this, and you have no reason to be ashamed. If for some reason this is romantic by nature, if you put yourself out there and this person ultimately says, thanks but no thanks, then they were never meant to be yours. And it really is truly that simple, because ultimately if you've put a lot of effort into, however you want to say it, phrasing this text just right, or including all the bells and whistles and how you're going to approach this person or what you're going to say, if they don't see you for what you are, then it's almost like it was not meant to be. So I don't think you need to second guess yourself. I almost think that your approach to be perfect is the wrong approach. I always say, do your best. But yeah, I think you're getting too lost in the details and you're getting overwhelmed with every single piece being perfect before you launch. And the thing is, nothing is ever going to be fully perfect. It's always going to be improvising and changing here and there, changing with the times, changing with the season, changing with the clientele, however you want to do. Like, nothing is solidified and stagnant for good. And I feel like my Pisces know that, right? You guys are mutable by nature, so you understand the value of flexibility, the value, Pentacles, right, of being open-minded, of knowing that whatever you pitch, it's not saying this is absolute. This is, a sample of my work, but this is not my entire art studio, right? Like there's something about you may be overwhelming yourself by trying to put forward an overwhelming amount of information when really it's almost like a less is more approach. Thank you, Spirit. That took me a long time to get to. That's exactly what this is. Less is more. Because there's a part of you that just doesn't think you're ready, but the butterflies to me say, yes, you are. This is about to transform. At minimum, it's about to transform and change your life, because I think you will feel a relief of no longer carrying around that weight of anticipation of, well, what happens if I put it out there, and is it ready? Is it good enough? How will it be received? Do you like it? Is it good by your standards? Then do it. Click send. Because ultimately, by trying to meet the needs and standards of someone else, you may be losing your own authenticity in the process. So I think you need to please yourself first and foremost. And again, if that is mirrored back to you in the recipient or the client, then hey, that's a good pairing, right? If there's an equal amount of excitement for whatever you're putting out there, that's great. But it's like you're already stunting yourself before you even send it out there. I think you're jumping to the worst case scenario. So don't do that, Pisces, okay? Let me get you a little bit more. And I think there's value, too, to be said. This is a positive message, so I hope you don't think I'm beating you up. But it's almost, how do I want to phrase this? I think you're putting yourself through more torture and torment by holding back on releasing this or sending that text or whatever it is you're doing. Because, again, your imagination is running through all these scenarios of worst case scenario or what could happen. Or Four of Cups, it's like this false sense of safety or this false sense of security that, well, at least when it's mine and I haven't shared it, it's under control. But the thing is, the longer you sit with it, it's like, the best example I can give is like when, I don't know if anyone will relate to this, but this is something that I've done a lot, and in hindsight I can realize it. When I'm super into any sort of like artistic project, I never want it to end because I have so much fun enjoying it, and like the process of it is so fun to me. Ironically, it's not that this process is fun to you, because I think it's like, again, the perfectionist in you is like, I have to phrase it just right and tweak it and this and that. But it's similar in that rather than just being happy with what I created, right? And being like, that's great for what it is, but let me put all this extra energy I have and this drive and motivation that I felt because of what I created, let me put that into a new avenue of something else. More or less, that's what I think you have to do, because you keep fixing it and changing it and this and that, where it's no longer what it was meant to be, or it's no longer what you first created, which in and of itself, Eight of Pentacles says to me, this is pretty good. Like, this is not to be, it's nothing to sneeze at, right? Like what you have built or what you have started or what you have been working on in a lot of respects, it's very valuable, it's very honorable, it's very respectable. You're your harshest critic, and I know that you know that, Pisces, right? You're really beating yourself up for this, and again, because you want it to land, because other people's opinions may mean a lot to you. And so I would just encourage you to keep that in healthy balance, or keep it like I'm hearing the word in check. Keep that in check with, does it mean something to you? Did it speak to you? Are you proud of what you put out there? Then release it and let go, because you can never control what other people are going to think or say or feel, right? So you need to allow yourself the gift of releasing control, and that way whenever you move forward with this, and I think you will, I think it's inevitable, though I would argue some of you, it's like you feel like the time is running out, so you're like, quick. It's almost like on those reality shows like Top Chef, it's like, okay, in 5 minutes you have to present, and like, you know, they have that montage of people like pulling the cake out and the icing is like melting off. Like in metaphor, that's what I'm getting. It's like you're in crunch time because you're trying to make it perfect, when I think if you would breathe and slow down, it would do tremendous things for your wellness and your health. But if you were to step back and kind of see the forest from the tree, you would see, you know, I'm really proud of this. Like, I put my heart on the line. I put myself out there. Like, I really like this, and that's good enough. Like, that's good enough for me. I know I sound like Tony Robbins, but It's, in a sense, it's safer to not, in your head, I mean. In a sense, I think you are justifying this by saying, well, if I hold back another week, it's just, I just really need to fix that small thing, I've been toying with it for a while, but I do think it's time for me to like go back and fix this before you're coming up with all these like flimsy ass reasons of why you can't move forward. And I'm teasing you guys, right? I don't mean to be mean, but it's like you're running out of reasons why you can't move forward when the universe is saying, please, can we move forward? Judgment, it's like, wrap it up. Like, get yourself out there, put your resume out there, sign the job contract if you feel like it's the right move. And for a lot of you, I think it is. With Three of Pentacles, yeah, I think there's a victory here. I would even say that you will very likely hear back from the person you are reaching out to, and it's going to differ for you in terms of the category. I think this could be potentially life-changing for you. Yeah, there's a lesson here about trusting yourself and not second guessing yourself. There's like a rebirth in the standards that you hold yourself to, because I think a lot of you are holding yourself to unrealistic standards. You have some of this may or may not have to do with a Scorpio. You have a lot of Scorpionic Mars energy. So the way I see this is like Three of Pentacles, you're building something. So again, if this is a team or a collaboration, it could be two people, but it's like you're building something bigger than just the one. You may be bringing people on board, or again, joining some sort of team or club. It's a victory by putting your word out there, by saying what you need to say and doing it proudly with victory. There's such a sense of like warrior here. Like, I'm coming out with my sword and I'm fighting on the battlefield. It's standing up for yourself. It's fighting for what you believe in. I could even view this as there may have been some sort of weird incident at work and you're feeling very torn about, well, should I say something? Like, because maybe something went down and it wasn't right. Tower moment. Maybe something very serious happened, but you're questioning just your ability to speak up for yourself, or the confidence you need to move forward. And what if I get shut down? What if I become isolated for speaking my truth and other people don't agree? It ain't about that. It's about honoring your truth and moving forward with it and doing what is right for you. You will know that you're among the right group of people when it lands and when it's handled with the same care that you constructed it with, right? When that message is received with the same care and I don't know what other term I want to use, care and respect that you put into writing those words out or communicating that important message, right? I actually don't hate this tower, to be honest. I know the tower typically has a difficult connotation of, being earth-shattering or earth-shaking. It's possible that this may relate to something in your life that was very, I'm hearing the word trepidation, but that's not really what I meant. Life-changing, and that this could be like the launch of your new career. I'm hearing like the launch of your book or something like that for some of you. So maybe that's exactly what it is. A lot of things to do with writing and intellect and thoughts and words being spoken. Do you see how it's just a thought here? It's not being spoken. I think eventually it's like you're going to put the pen to the paper, or, the microphone to your mouth. It's like, I'm speaking, right? You're going to come out with something that's very important. And I think this is you stepping into your power. Because it is Aries season and Aries is ruled by Mars. That's sort of a neighboring sign for you, Pisces. Maybe some of you have very strong Aries in your chart. It's like you're taking control of your power back, right? If in past experiences or past interactions you've been more apt to side with someone else or let them speak first, I think universe is trying to build you to be stronger. It's like they're trying to get your head in the game, get you more into kind of warrior mode to really set healthy boundaries for yourself and also realistic expectations so that you're not constantly having to cater to others or pick up the pieces or feel like you're always getting like the short end of the stick. I think this is kind of like the dawning of a new day, and I think that's what this is. I think you're starting to realize the strength of your power, because what you do have to offer, it's really great, it's really beautiful, and it comes from a place of integrity. I really like these cards for you. I think this is time for you to really assess what is holding you back from moving forward with this. And if it's fear, that's okay, but that's only the first step of recognizing, yeah, maybe it is a little fear. Okay, go deeper. Ask yourself more questions. Well, why am I feeling this way? Okay, well, if I move forward with it, what's the worst case scenario? What if they reject me? What if this, okay, then at least at least you're not living in this kind of like fearful, worrying state of not knowing what the end result or the end goal is going to be. I guarantee you moving forward with this will clear up a lot of that confusion or a lot of that question. Things will become apparent. And bottom line, it has something to do with like doing a real power play or move, doing something that maybe goes against your traditional trajectory, but you're doing it in a very bold, very brave way. There's something very powerful about your energy this week, and I really like it. I really dig it. So Two of Pentacles is constantly kind of weighing out decisions. Sometimes it has to do with having options, but ultimately I see you, again, teetering on do I or don't I. Thank you. I was going to say, I'm waiting for some wands because I can feel that the message is yes, move forward. So I like that you have a lot of Aries energy with the Tower, which again is about action and movement, power, trailblazer energy. Aries is like the self-starter. Aries season is like the beginning of the zodiac, right? So it's child, it's birth, it's energy, it's lighting the match, the spark. It's fuel. So then there's your wands, there's your fire, and wands always bring change and movement into our life. So I like that. I think that's sort of culminating what the message here has been. Yeah, the only thing holding you back at this point, I think, is yourself. So again, just don't get too stuck in the self-contemplative, well, do I or don't I, and what if, weighing out every single possible scenario. You can't possibly do that. You don't know how this is going to go, so the only way to find out is, again, to move forward. And I said this recently, the Knight of Wands has come up so much in my last several readings, but he's very adventurous, he or she, right? He's very bold. He takes a lot of risks, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. But ultimately, his trajectory, his viewpoint on life is so buoyant and optimistic. It's very Sagittarian-like energy. The freedom to do and say what he wants, that's enough to get him by. So even if he maybe impulsively does something, he finds his way out of it because, you win some, you lose some. That's very YOLO energy, right? That's very kind of Sagittarian. It's not taking anything too seriously, having a good sense of humor about yourself and about the situation. And I get it. For all of you, there's very little room for humor here, but I would still offer, it's okay to laugh at yourself and understanding that this downward spiral of, oh my God, what do I do? Step back from that and realize kind of the humor, and you're making it worse for yourself by not moving forward. And do you understand what I mean? Don't get too lost in the process of doing it. I think you can only fine tune this so much before inevitably, the universe is like, so are we going to do this or not? You know the answer, and listen to your intuition, listen to your heart. You know when the timing is right, but I'm sort of getting, you guys know the timing has been right for this for a while. It's that final action. It's that final step of, I'm almost getting take a deep breath and move into it. Step into the light. This is your time. I would even say this is your moment of glory. All these sort of metaphors of power and battle armor. It feels like you're going to war. Maybe this has something to do with a court case or needing to, do you understand what I mean? Something where you'd really have to kind of push your muscle around in order to get something to sway in your manner. The Libra full moon, which is all about balance, justice, something in a courtroom or something where you're really needing to advocate and fight for your point. The Lovers. So it may have to do with someone you love. But I was sort of peeking to see, well, how is this going to go? I think when you make the decision to move forward, you align to the right counterpart, or you align to the right decision or option, if that makes any sense. I was trying to get a vibe for if they move forward with this, if they advocate for themselves, how are the scales going to weigh? I think they'll weigh in your favor with the Lovers card coming out. Possibly something with a Gemini could be involved. Again, you have a lot of Scorpio cards, tons of Scorpio cards, a little bit of Aries. That's about it for zodiac signs. Again, Scorpio, but it could really be anything. Aries, Leo, Sag. All right, Pisces, that's what I got for you. Let me know in the comments down below if any of this resonates, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.